Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of the Disgustingly Resilient podcast. And today's episode we're going to be doing we're coming to the last two now of our detachment reviews. This one is going to be looking at the Shamblerot Vectorium. If you enjoy what we do on the channel, please feel free to leave a like and a subscribe. If you really enjoy it, consider becoming a member. You get access to our Discord, you get access to giveaways, all that good stuff. And of course it supports the channel, so we appreciate it massively. Now this is the second time recording this one, hence why it's a day late. Turns out corrupted files are not fun, especially when you sit there doing all your stuff on it and recording it, and then it corrupts, and then you got to do it all again. So Mark 2, here we go. So what is the overview? Zombies is the zombie detachment, this one. So this is all about your poxwalkers. Now at its core, it is a board control / scoring detachment. This is an army that has not got the direct output of things like Champions of Contagion, Virulent Vectorium. What it does is it has tools to make sure that you can control the board, score your objectives, score your primary whilst denying your opponent, a bit like Flyblown Host. Now, you also get some 3 expendable units in this, which is really cool, as we'll look at in a second. And it can also have a jail sub-theme. For those who are new, a jail is basically where you use your units to move block your opponent and keep them inside their deployment zone. And basically, you never let them leave, which means they can never score points, they can never basically get onto primary, and the idea is you hold them in jail for as long as possible, and by the time they finally break out on turn 4, they're so far behind on the scoreboard, they can't possibly catch up. So there is a potential to do that with this detachment. So what is the detachment rule? Numberless Horde is in your command phase, on battle rounds 2, 3, and 4, add a unit of 10 Poxwalkers to your army in strategic reserves. Poxwalkers are also battle line. 150 zombies max we're talking here. You can take 6 squads of 20 and then you get 3 squads of 10 for free on turn 2, 3 and 4. So you don't get all 3 squads on turn 2, 3 and 4. It's 1 squad of 10 on 2, 1 squad of 10 on 3, 1 squad of 10 on 4. Now, this is obviously great because it means your list naturally, before you put a single model in it, has 3 extra scoring units. 10-man Poxwalkers are good for scoring, and they're going to be in reserves, means it can come from any board edge. So you start the game, before you've put anything in your list, with 3 extra scoring units. So this is great for when you draw engage, containment, recover assets, sabotage, deploy locus. All these kind of secondaries are going to be covered by the fact that you just have 3 units. 3 is going to be real annoying to keep saying, but you have 3 units in your list. You've basically got 180 points in a list for free. You got 61, 21, 80. Great. Always good to have. And like I said, it lets you just great for scoring secondaries, and also you can use them to hold objectives so the rest of the army can keep moving. And it also means when we come to build the rest of your list, you're going to be able to maximize points in better spent areas because we already got 180 points for free covered in our scoring units, which is fantastic. Let's look at the enhancements. So first up is the Witherbone Pipes. This only goes on a Noxious Blightbringer who can lead Poxwalkers, and whilst he's leading Poxwalkers, you add 1 OC to every model in that unit, and you add 1 to the Battle Shock tests. Now, the Blightbringer himself is Leadership 6, so that'll effectively make you Leadership 5, because of +1 to the test. Really, really good. Now that squad is going to have 42 OC. 42 OC, because you're going to have 20 models plus the Noxious Blightbringer, and he gets it as well, and they're all 2 OC. You can add Typhus in here and make it 44 OC. That's really good. And it basically, an opponent can sometimes try to out-OC you with their battle line units because they'll be at 2 OC to Poxwalker's natural 1. But now, that's not a case. This unit has to basically be killed off an objective. And if you play it smart and you don't expose it to too much, or you put so much other stuff in your opponent's face, it's going to be very hard to have this objective ever get shifted out of your control. So I really like this enhancement. It's probably my favourite one in here, just because the one thing I want Poxwalkers to do is hold objectives, and this makes them effectively double the squad size for it, because you're effectively having the equivalent of having 42 Poxwalkers in a squad, because they're going to sit on a point with that much OC, be real hard to shift, and Poxwalkers' biggest problem is Battle Shock, because they have shit leadership, whereas now you're going to have the Noxious Blightbringer's leadership and +1 to the test, so you're going to be doing it on 5s, which makes it a lot more reliable. So we really, really like this. So it's a great enhancement, probably one of the best ones. I really like it. Lord of the Walking Pox. So this goes in infantry model. When they're leading Poxwalkers, so it has to be attached to Poxwalker unit to work, and in strategic reserves, so that means they've started the game off the board, you can be set up anywhere as if it was round 3 straight from the get-go. So for those who don't know, you can't normally arrive from reserves turn 1. you can normally arrive in reserves in no man's land or your deployment turn 2, and turn 3 it can be anywhere. Now, you can from turn 1 arrive anywhere. This is obviously great. It means that you basically have a very flexible Poxwalker unit. You can also save it off the board and then make it arrive wherever you want it to annoy your opponent. You can use this with rapid ingress if you go in second. So suddenly now 20 Poxwalkers appear turn 1 and they're free to then move in your turn, which is really, really good. It keeps your opponent on edge. They have to constantly be screening because they don't know where this Poxwalker unit is going to come from. They can't leave a single gap in the home objective because, again, they'll appear on turn 1 if they want to. They've got to be really, really careful, and it keeps them on edge and it keeps them screening, which means they're going to have to put their forces out wide. Poxwalkers don't really want to run into an army where all its guns are in one place because they'll kill it easily. But when you're forcing your opponent to spread out to screen everything, you can get easier pickings, you can tag units and keep them isolated. All sorts of that stuff is good for this detachment. And of course, it allows you to reinforce anywhere, anytime. Say your opponent has noticed you're trying to jail them, so they move all the units onto one side to go and try and just clear out that way. You can, with this, turn 1, bring in another fresh 20 Poxwalker unit to move block, to do whatever you need. Maybe they've just committed and killed a unit of 20, and now they're finally about to break out the deployment. You've then brought in another 20 straight away on turn 1, keep them there for another turn. It's really good. It helps you basically reinforce anywhere, anytime, whereas normally you'd have to wait till turn 2 or maybe in turn 3 to be able to bring it in. So it's really, really good. Soros siphons. This is a bit of a weird one. It's fun though. Goes on a playcaster. When he's leading Poxwalkers, you add 1 to the damage of his Plague Wind weapon. However, whenever he shoots it, including in Overwatch, D3 Poxwalkers are just destroyed. So this makes his Super Flamer get even more super, so you can have D6 plus 3 shots at minimum 2 damage, maximum 4 damage now, which is extremely scary to Marine bodies, especially on Overwatch. This thing can fire, and now they've got to wear an AP3 potential Flamer with damage 2 minimum. Nobody's going to want to come near that. It's just not, it's like a little, now he's a Land Raider Redeemer. He's half a Land Raider Redeemer. That is scary. Now, also having a 66% chance of getting damage 3, because if you roll a 3 to a 6 on a D3, you will get plus 2 damage, so now it's damage 3 minimum, damage 5 maximum. Now enemy elite units are shitting themselves, so it's really scary to elite units as well. And God forbid you roll, the D3 and you get the full flat 4 damage. That's obviously going to be fantastic. Now, one thing to remember though, the Poxwalkers don't get a feel no pain when they're destroyed. They're not taking a wound, they are destroyed. They are just removed from play, so you don't get to roll a feel no pain. So there is a bad chance that it's kind of counterintuitive to what this army wants to do. This army kind of wants to be annoying and sort of clog up the board with bodies, and now you're helping your opponent kill them because you're removing your own guys. And it's not a choice. That's also a thing. You just, every time you shoot, have to do this. If it was a choice, I'd like it more, because sometimes you're going to shoot guardsmen and you don't care about the damage. But this is going to make you, every time he shoots, you're going to have to kill D3 Poxwalkers. So it's a bit niche. It can be funny, but I'm not super happy. Now, I don't really know if you take this in general, because again, the potential for Overwatch is really scary. Maybe you just bring him and a squad of 10 just to almost use as an ammo belt, like bullets, just to put in the gun. But I don't think I'm going out to get this one straight away. But if you want it, and you're against maybe some elites, or you want some really scary Overwatch, consider it. The Talisman of Burgeoning. So this goes on an infantry model, again, when leading Poxwalkers. Add 1 to the toughness of those Poxwalkers. So you have toughness 5 Poxwalkers. That's a really good breakpoint. There's lots of strength 4 shooting in the game. Just random pot shots. Think about our rhinos. Our rhinos have 8 bolt gun shots up close and a potential strength 5 Havoc launcher. Now the bolters are wounded on 5s, the Havoc launcher is wounded on 4s. They both just got hit by -1 to wound because of this enhancement. And as we said, we just want to keep our zombies being annoying. The more bullets these guys take, the better that is for the rest of our army. Because the longer it takes for them to kill him and break out of jail, the better our army's going to do at controlling the board. So actually not too bad. Pretty good upgrade. Obviously, it's a bit dependent if your opponent's, an army that hasn't got any strength 4 and it's like las guns. It doesn't make any difference. Strength 3 to strength 5. Strength 3, versus toughness 5 makes no difference. So it's going to be matchup dependent, and it's a little expensive. It does also protect you from precision a bit better. When someone precisions your unit, they roll against the bodyguard's toughness. So even if you have Typhus, who's T7, they roll against the Poxwalker T4, which is a bit annoying, especially for Power Fist, so it's strength 8. Whereas now they'll at least roll against strength 5, T5, so then they'll be -1 to wound on Typhus. Still wound you on 3 as opposed to, what it could potentially be. But It's better than nothing. It's a little bit of an extra defensive layer that you can get there. But it's a decent enhancement. Having T5 Poxwalkers is nice. Again, I don't think it takes out the OC one for me. I think that's the auto include. But it is a good enhancement overall. Stratagems. Okay. Grip of the Walking Pox. 1 command point. In the fight phase, you are going to... After an enemy unit has finished making its attacks onto you, so you use it on one of your units after they've finished making attacks, which is pretty cool, actually. You just pick the unit, and it's like, cool, I've died a load, I'm going to use it. You roll a d6 for each destroyed friendly model. On a 6, you deal 1 mortal wound back to the enemy unit, and if any of those models are killed from this ability, this stratagem, they come back as Poxwalkers, as if it was a Poxwalker biting them and killing them. Now, here's the problem. You need 6, which means... You need lots of Poxwalkers to die to get value from this. Which means, think about it. You need 18 Poxwalkers to die to roll 3 6s on average. So you will kill a Marine and a half. So you will kill a Marine and you will get a single Poxwalker back if 18 Poxwalkers die. That's probably not going to make much difference to the outcome that's coming out there. I wish this was a 5-up. It'd be much more reliable. 6 is just not impactful enough, really, for me personally. Now, good things are obviously any returned Poxwalkers can attack if the unit hasn't attacked yet, because if your opponent's charged you, they attack you, do this. Maybe you kill 3 guys back because you got lucky and killed guardsmen. Those 3 Poxwalkers join before you select to fight, so then those 3 Poxwalkers can then pile in and fight. That's not bad. It can have the potential to swing primary. I'm not going to deny it. There is always a chance that this thing can swing primary. You know, if 10 guardsmen come in, they kill a couple guys, you've got a couple guys left, and then suddenly the 6 kills 3 of them, and then you got 3 Poxwalkers back, they've lost 6 OC, you've gained 3 OC. Like, it does have potential to do things like that, but just be aware that, again, you are banking on 6s, which is not always... Like, if you were to tell me what's a competitive strategy, banking on rolling 6s is the meme answer of, just roll more 6s. But it's not the good answer. Now, it can also be used to finish off very weak units. So, if for example, a silly Mortarion or a Primarch or something, or a big vehicle, charged and killed a bunch of Poxwalkers in close combat, and he's on 1 wound, I'm probably going to pay a CP, even if, only 3 die, because I should have, a 50% chance to maybe get a 6 on one of those 3 dices. The odds aren't great, but again, if it's going to make a big impact to the game, like finishing off a unit, you might consider using it. So keep it in the back of your head. This isn't one you're looking always to use, but it's a nice to have when the opportunity arises. Okay, Hidden Amongst the Dead. Good stratagem. 1 command point. In your movement phase, pick an unattached Poxwalker unit, so you can't have characters in this unit. That's in reserves. It gains Deep Strike. Great! So you can just drop Poxwalkers whenever you want. Excellent. And you know what this can be used on? Those free squads of 10 Poxwalkers that you get given from the detachment ability. So now, when you've drawn area denial, you can Deep Strike right into the middle of the board. Excellent. You got behind enemy lines, Deep Strike into a gap they've left. Being able to just Deep Strike is excellent. Now, obviously, this cannot be used to rapid ingress because it has to be in your movement phase. One thing I like this for is if you have 20 zombies on an objective, obviously, you don't just want to sit there. You want to get them moving up. Move blocking being annoying. You can move them forward and then Deep Strike a fresh unit of 10 onto the objective to hold it. So it means your 20 man doesn't have to stay there. But it's also just really nice for, let's say you've got Mortarion in the middle. You're worried your opponent's going to shoot him a lot next turn. So you're going to pay a CP, Deep Strike 10 Poxwalkers next to him. So that next turn, when he comes to your opponent, we can use another stratagem later on, which gives you meat shields just out of nowhere, which is obviously great. But again, the main thing that makes this good is just the flexibility to look at your cards, go, okay, I need to score X this turn, which requires me to be over there. You, 10-man unit, get Deep Struck, get in there, score me those points. So it's really, really good on that one. So we like this. Now, do bear in mind, this cannot be combined with the enhancement for a turn 1 Deep Strike because it has to be on a unattached unit, and obviously the enhancement has to go on a character, which cannot be in this unit. So you cannot do this to Deep Strike Typhus and 20 Pox. It's a bare bones Poxwalker unit, but it's still a great tool to have, and it's more for scoring than anything, but you can also use it to score move blocks. So don't forget about move blocks either. Smeared with Filth. I actually rate this one. Fight phase. 1 enemy unit has just destroyed a Poxwalker unit, so they fully killed a Poxwalker unit. For the rest of the battle, that enemy unit that killed them is now afflicted. So they're going to permanently be -1 toughness plus whatever your special contagion is. But that's pretty good already. So it's going to be easy to shoot them to death. It's going to be easier to melee them to death. Maybe you've given -1 to hit permanently. Good. This allows you to punish your opponents by setting up trades. If you keep Poxwalkers behind a wall, chances are they're going to have to send a melee unit in to kill it. They'll come in, maybe it's 3 Sanguinary Guard and Dante, because it's like, oh cool, let's go kill that easily. They come in, they kill it, sweet, now you're afflicted for the rest of the game. That's bad. You're already now -1 toughness, so this Sanguinary Guard brick is now T3 with a -1 save. But it also means for the rest of the game, I am free to drop Death Shroud within 6 of that unit, because they're afflicted for the rest of the game. So I call it the mark for death. So you say, hey, I've got 20 Poxwalkers behind this wall being annoying, woo! And your opponent's like, god damn, that's annoying. But to kill 20 Poxwalkers, I'm going to need to commit a decent unit. So they send out their, 6-man Sanguinary Guard, or their 6-man Inner Circles. They come in, they kill them all, like, yeah, excellent. And you didn't set up any guns to shoot back. Oh, silly me, I didn't set up anything to punish this, so it's a free kill for you. And then suddenly you smack this on him, and then in my turn, boom, hits 3 Death Shroud and a Lord of Contagion, 6-inch charge, in they go, smash, it's all dead. Excellent. So it's a really cool use for it there, but just remember, afflicted is such an important keyword, so even if you've just set up guns, so your opponent's going to charge in, kill Poxwalker, but you've either got like a Predator in reserves, or you've got drones that can swing out and shoot this target, hit them with this stratagem, then in your turn, swing out, shoot them off the board. Really good stratagem when it comes up, keep an eye out for it. Shock and Horror. So this is the only stratagem that can be used on something that isn't a Poxwalker. It can be used on anything. A friendly unit that's just finished a charge move. Each enemy unit with an engagement range must take a battle shock test at -1. So we've been over these stratagems in every other detachment. But let's just recap it quick. Shuts down stratagems. You don't want to get armor contempted. They can't do it if they're battle shocked. You don't want them to get other defensive strats, -1 damage, for example. Again, the mirror, they can't use it. Now, the annoying thing is this requires you to charge them, so it's actually not good for shutting down offensive strats, because if a Blood Angel charges you and pops Lance and Lethal, you can't battle shock them, because you have to be the charger. It's your charge phase. Also lets you score easier secondaries. Again, it doesn't matter if you have a Land Raider on a point with 6 OC. If I charge in, make you battle shock off 2 Poxwalkers, and you fail it, you go to 0 OC, I'm at 2 OC. End of my turn, when I come to score my cards, you're 0 OC still, I score my secondaries, and then you unbattle shock. So, can help you score secondaries, which is nice. Interestingly, it is affecting multiple units, because again, it's anything engagement range. So if 20 Poxwalkers multi-charge 5 units, cool, 5 units take battle shock at -1. It's alright, it's not bad, like, you can get some good value out of it. It can be used on any unit at all, Shroud, Plague Marines, Vehicles, Poxwalkers, you name it, anything can use it, not bad. And don't forget about your Icons of Despair. So if you've got your Death Shroud, you've got that 3 6-inch aura of -1 to battle shock, -1 to leadership value. So that's going to make this be effectively -2, which is pretty good. Makes it a lot more reliable. It's one of those, it's niche. When it comes up, you'll use it. It'll feel good. But the fact that you have to be charging makes it a little worse than Flyblown, which is just picking enemy in engagement at the start of the fight phase. Whereas that's a bit more useful. You can use that defensively. This is much more of an aggressive tool to use. And last but not least, Gnawing Hunger. Your command phase, 1 Poxwalker unit. Until end of the turn, add 1 to the move, strength, and attacks of melee weapons in that Poxwalker unit. So, speed is the best bit here. Going to movement 6, potentially 7 with Obnoxious Blightbringer, is actually quite fast for Poxwalkers. So that's nice. It's always good to have. Speed is king in 40k. We like that. Gets you easier charges, gets you better advances, gets you better places, score secondaries, whatever you need it to do. +1 strength and attack. Sounds good, but you remember, you are still a fucking Poxwalker. You do no damage. You are weapon skill 5 with 2 attacks. So you will, on average, hit 1 every 2 Poxwalkers. +1 strength, +1 attack. Now, +1 attack means that every Poxwalker will now, on average, land 1 hit. Yay. Well done, guys. So you get 20 hits from a squad of 20. They're going to be strength 4 now, so you win Marines on 3s if you're in Contagion, which again is okay at -1 save potentially, but it's not really going to set the world on fire. Like, Poxwalkers still deal no damage. Now, this gave them +1 weapon skill, strength and attack. Then I'd be like, oh, now, okay, that's spicy, but unfortunately it doesn't. Weapon skill 5 still sucks. If you're into anything with -1 to hit, you're just not hitting anything, unlucky. But it will affect any attached units. So 7 attack, strength 10 Typhus, genuinely scary. Even the Playcaster gets an extra attack with his D3 damage bonky stick. That's where it's probably the most useful for damage output, is giving the character in the squad an extra strength and attack. But again, like, unless it's Typhus, it's probably not hitting hard enough to make that really relevant. But I will say, 7 attack, strength 10 Typhus, that is literally better than Furnace of Plagues on the Lord of Contagion and Virulent Vectorium, and that thing shreds so many stuff. So that is Well, it's not better because he gets Lance, obviously, but it's on par. It's pretty damn good. 7 attacks at strength 10, flat 3 damage is incredibly scary. So that is a good use for it. But honestly, if you're using this one, you're more than likely going to be using it to get the movement. The movement is the best bit. Just being able to make something a charge an inch easier, or maybe 2 inches with a Blightbringer. Just being able to get those advances and get, move 6 now, advance D6. Maybe you got a Blightbringer so you can re-roll it, and then you move 7 with that guy and then re-roll it. But really, the damage output it gives to the squad, don't think this is like, one of those stratagems where you press a button and delete a unit. You might kill you might kill a Marine or 2 more, but that's about it. Don't bank your money on this killing a lot of things. And last but not least, Shambling Wall, opponent shooting phase. So, one unit of yours that has just been targeted by an enemy that is within 3 inches of a Poxwalk unit. Now, the Poxwalk unit and the original target both have to be visible to the attacking unit. Until the end of the phase, whenever an attack wounds the targeted unit, do not take any saves. Instead, destroy Poxwalker models equal to the damage characteristic of a Poxwalk unit within 3. So, both units have to be visible. So if I have Mortarion here and an enemy tank is there and I have Poxwalkers hiding behind a wall, I can't use it. The tank has to be able to see both the Poxwalkers and Mortarion. You do not get Feel No Pain when you are destroyed. As we said before, you are destroyed. You are not losing a wound or taking a wound. You are destroyed. The model is removed from play, so you don't get Feel No Pains. Now, the good thing is they have to wound you, though, against the original toughness of the original target. So if they are shooting Mortarion and you use this stratagem, they don't roll to wound against Poxwalker's T4, they roll to wound against Mortarion's toughness 12. Real nice. Now, then, let's say the las cannon rolled a 5 on its damage, so it got 4 plus 1, d6 plus 1, it got 4. That's 5 damage, you will remove 5 Poxwalkers. Okay, that is it. That's just gone. But that shot does nothing to Mortarion. So he rolls to hit, he rolls to wound against Mortarion. Mortarion takes no saves, he doesn't take a save, and the damage is just dealt to the Poxwalkers in slain models. They just, 5 of them go pop. Okay, now if you run out of Poxwalkers, interesting bit. If I have 1 Poxwalker alive, and you shoot me with a Volcano Lance, which is 6 plus, it's like 2d6 plus, whatever it is, ridiculous. Let's say it's flat 18 damage. I have 1 Poxwalker alive. You roll against Mortarion to hit, you hit. You roll against Mortarion to wound, you wound. That 1 Poxwalker then, I will put the damage on that guy, and even though he's only 1 model and you have dealt 18 damage, it will not spill onto Mortarion. He will eat the entire 18 damage. Now, any extra attacks, if there was more shots, so if you had 2 of them shots, the second shot would then go onto Mortarion, but Mortarion at that point would get to make a save, and then he's Feel No Pains. But just bear in mind, a single Poxwalker surviving for a big shot, so say they try and clear it with a little rough shot, so they shoot a little bolters at them first, but then, unfortunately, 1 Poxwalker's still alive after all the little plinky shots. That first Volcano Lance shot, mate, that's going clean into that Poxwalker. What a lad. So just bear that in mind. It can actually be pretty funny. And also, if you have a character in that squad, so if it was Typhus and 1 Poxwalker, a Poxwalker model is destroyed, which means Typhus can never be destroyed as part of this rule. So the Poxwalker would die, the next shot would not go on Typhus, it would then go to the original target. So you don't have to worry about accidentally punking out your own Typhus or punking out your own, Blightbringer or Playcaster. Just be aware. And now, the funny thing of this is, you can rapid ingress 10 of those free Poxwalkers next to a target you want to protect with this. You've got your Death Shroud going down the flank, they've just killed some stuff. Your opponent's a World Eater, they've just swung a Forge Fiend out about to shoot your Death Shroud, that's pretty scary. Suddenly, rapid ingress in 10 of those lovely Poxwalker boys, and you go, cool. Now, the Poxwalkers are just going to die. You've killed 60 points, and my Death Shroud are completely untouched. So, you can do little tricks like that. Obviously, it's 2 CP that, because you've got a rapid ingress and then use a strat. But if it's going to save you a big, scary unit like that, sometimes it's worth it. So just bear in mind that's a trick you can do. So what are the strengths of the Shamblerot Vectorium? Well, the free scoring units are really the big appeal here. It's so good for making scoring super easy. It lets you spend more points on better units, and it has super, super good scoring potential, this army. Free scoring units, plus the ability to infiltrate a load of Poxwalkers off the bat, gets you tons of board control, and you just get to have lots of points for free, because you can just deep strike, score stuff, 10 free guys. 23 guys infiltrating, cool, keep my opponent off primary. It's really good at dominating that scoreboard. And it also has stupidly fucking easy secret mission potential. There is a secret mission where you have to kill your opponent's battle line. A lot of armies right now are not bringing much battle line because they're not great. So if your opponent's brought 0, you can know for fact, you can just, one of those 3 squads of 10 Poxwalkers, because they didn't start the game in reserves, they can stay in reserves until turn 5. So you, on turn 4, get your 3 10-man Poxwalker unit. You keep it in reserves. You sit there and you go, cool, it's not coming in. And you've took that secret mission, and on turn 5, you go, cool, I'm going to spend a CP, I'm going to deep strike him in your deployment zone. I have now scored my secret mission. GG, thanks for the 20 primary. Like, try and stop that. Like, that is so hard to stop. On demand, 10 Poxwalkers, which are battle line, can just deep strike and score turn 5 a full secret mission. All you have to do is kill your opponent's battle line, and they're not that relevant anyway. Your opponent might not even have brought any. That is crazy good. Like, in teams, you want to blunt people's score. You want to be the 10-10 hero. This is a really good detachment for it. Like, this is what I'm saying. This detachment has played. The strats themselves, not the greatest, not going to lie. But shit like that, pretty fire. Jail time. Obviously, your opponent, if they can't score, they can't win. Simple as. You score quick, you score early, you use your pressure to keep your opponent in the deployment, then you use the points you've saved on Poxwalkers, because I don't think you actually go 120 in this, I think that's a bait, to shoot anything that tries to escape easily. You punish any overextensions with stuff like Death Shroud. You just want to keep your opponents under pressure, keep their score low, and make them focus on, because for example, you have 60 Poxwalkers in your face turn 1, you draw recover assets sabotage. You are not sitting there doing actions. You need to break out. So now you can't score them cards, which means now you're under pressure. And that's where you've got to make that advantage early and get on top of them very quickly. And the great thing about this is the command points, not that important. Deep Strike one's pretty good. Shambling Wall can be useful, the one where you absorb damage. The rest of them, you don't really need them. Like, I'll be honest with you, like, the strats are not the strongest point in this detachment. There's some okay ones, some decent ones. But, like, you're not going to be using, like, the damaging one. You're not going to be using +1 move, strength, and attack on Poxwalkers to go and kill stuff. Like, it's not the point of the detachment. So you actually don't need to bring lots of CP. You don't need to bring stuff like a Demon Prince. You don't need to bring stuff like a Talisman. You can, obviously, but you don't have to. As something like Virulent Vectorium, with lots of 2 command point costs, etc., needs CP. It's very CP hungry. This one isn't. All this one wants you to do is, instead of looking at the stratagems, he just wants you to bring the Poxwalkers, obviously, and then bring Death Guard units that are just baseline, bottom level, strong, like our friend, the Fetid Bloat Drummer Heavy Blight Launcher. You bring him along in a Lord of Virulence, they don't need any strat support, they'll get the job done. Death Shroud, don't even need characters, they can just deep strike 6, go in, kill a unit, get the job done. That's all you need. Units like that don't need tons of synergy, don't need tons of command points to make them really lethal. Predator Destructors, again, great. They're basically a stratagem on a tank, because you hit someone, now everything else gets +1 AP versus it. Great. So that thing can basically be a supporting stratagem for your other vehicles. You don't need to have tons of command points, and that frees you up to just bring good baseline Death Guard units, and because you're 3 180 point Poxwalker units, you also get to save a little money you would normally spend on those scoring units to bring more things like Predators, Death Shroud, etc. What are the weaknesses? 120 Poxwalkers is a trap. You don't need this many. It is far too focused on Poxwalkers, and they are units that deal absolutely no damage. They are not unkillable. Yes, you will run into matchups where your opponent can't deal with it, and you will keep them pinned in all game, and you will get a free win. But you will lose a lot of games where your opponent can deal with it, and you have nothing else in your list. You have just spent too much points on Poxwalkers. Now, you still want a lot of Poxwalkers, but I genuinely think the 120 is an absolute trap. 5 out of 6 of the strats require Poxwalkers, and Poxwalkers aren't great. They're genuinely not. They are disposable. There's not much support in the stratagem package for the rest of the Death Guard range. You basically have the ability to give them meat shields, and then give them the ability to battle shock things. So really, you are really relying on bringing good base data sheets for Death Guard. So you're not going to be able to make things cute. You're not going to be able to, give stuff like crit 5s, lethal, full rolls to hit and wound. Like, just doesn't happen in this detachment. So bring the data sheets that you look at and you just go, that's a solid data sheet. That doesn't need much support. That'll work. Bring those kind of units. And obviously, this list is stronger going first deploy and first turn. First deploy, getting a huge infiltrate off. So much board control in terms of deployment then, and obviously getting first turn, your opponent's under pressure instantly. They don't get that chance to get out of deployment and start getting board control. You shut them down straight away. But if your opponent has infiltrators, that's also going to be bad for you, because they can shut down your infiltrate then, which means then it's a lot more iffy of a game. So you kind of a bit more matchup dependent in that sense on whether you're going to get away with Poxwalker jailing someone. So just be aware, it's still strong if you go second, but it's stronger going first. The same issue that Flyblown Host has there. quick sample list. So this is a little sample list for you to go and try out yourself. So we've got Typhus, a lot of Contagion, a lot of Virulence, and a Noxious Blightbringer with Witherbone Pipes. You can attach them to the same 20-man Poxwalker unit. I probably would. So then you're going to have one squad of 10 Poxwalkers that are going to sit on your home objective. You have 3 squads of 20 Poxwalkers that can all infiltrate, get up in your opponent's grill. You're going to have a squad of 20 that's going to start in your deployment zone with Typhus in there, with the Noxious Blightbringer in there. So they're going to be faster. They're going to be 44 OC as a squad. Obviously, Typhus can regenerate them with his mortal wounds. That's going to give you a lot of board control. Then we've got 2 squads of Death Shroud for each of the Lords to join. Again, these come in, they kill something. They're like little scalpel units. They also keep your opponent under that extra bit of pressure. And then we're going to bring tanks. We're going to bring vehicle support. We need guns. We don't commit to this whole Poxwalker meme. 3 heavy blight launcher bloat drones. Great 100-point shooting unit. Lord of Virulence is in the air to back them up. They're so cheap. They're so stupid. And because they've got good range, they can hover back. All the rest of your infantry is going to be pushing forward. You need something to either sit in the midboard or sit at home. These guys are going to be able to take long range firefights and come out good. 2 normal fetid bloat drones. These guys, again, we talk about the pressure. Flesh mowers, spitters, doesn't really matter. These join in as that second wave of pressure. 2 squads of 20 Poxwalkers have crashed into your opponent. They're clearing that out. The next one is going to be the 3rd squad of 20 and 2 bloat drones crashing in, plus potentially Death Shroud. And the 3rd one, now Typhus is in the face with his big squad, and maybe some bloat drones are still alive. Maybe you've got another squad of Death Shroud to come in yet. Really good, just second wave of aggression, more pressure on your opponent. And then 2 Predator Destructors bringing up the rear. You can put large cans of heavy bolters, doesn't really matter, whatever you prefer. Just to give you that long-range shooting firepower, and again, they almost act as stratagem support for the rest of the units because the stratagem package isn't that great in here. So these guys can be out there shooting a Havoc launch to give you bloat drones plus 1 AP against some other target. Making those spitters AP 3 because it's, -1 save, contagion, etc. Pretty damn good, pretty damn strong, and it really helps this army sort of take that extra bit of firepower and not just become this entire I only jail, and as soon as you break out, I automatically lose. It's a nice balance of shooting firepower, scalpel units with the Death Shroud, and then we've got, like I said, Typhus is in there with his big squad, makes use of that enhancement, it's a bit of fun as well. That squad can move 7 inches, get +1 attacks, you have 7 attacks, strength 10 Typhus to have a bit of fun with. You probably could drop the Blightbringer and the Witherbone Pipes, you want to make this more competitive, and you put something else in, but I really like this as it is just for now, and yeah, give it a go. See what you think, and let me know, because I would like to know if someone tries and gets on with it, because I think this is a good base line. We did see someone do very well with a list very similar to this, very similar. Eddie Charter, sorry, can't remember the last name. He again cut out the Blightbringer. I think he had a unit of Chaos Spawn instead, I think it was, which is probably better, so maybe go with that one. But again, I wanted to make use of an enhancement here and sort of show it off, but he's along the same lines of don't spam the Poxwalkers, take some vehicles as well. Very cool, so and also excellent work to him getting a 5-0 with his list. Well done, Eddie. Well done, mate. So yeah, check it out. And obviously remember, a win for Death Guard is a win for Kirby. Go out there, destroy the name of his lordship, and bring back those W's. But for now, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed this quick little Shamblerot Vectorium breakdown. Obviously, we're going to have more videos in the future on specific tactics, specific lists, more list out options rather than just the one. But that's all coming in due time. The next one, the final one we're going to be doing is the Taliban Summoners, which I think is absolutely slept on right now. And there's quite a few players that would agree. But thank you very much for watching for now. Thank you to our YouTube members. Thank you to Element Games. If you want to buy some UK products, go check those guys out. Or our affiliate link in the description. Check out our friends at Vanguard Tactics. You want to get some coaching or you want to watch some battle reports, go check those out. And thank you to our friends at Saltire Games who are currently working on upgrading all of their Disgustingly Resilient themed podcast sets into the new Affliction tokens, all that stuff. But last but not least, obviously, thank you for watching, the listener, the viewer. Appreciate you being here. I will catch you all on the next one. Stay around, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye for now. See you later, guys.